Hello, this is Adrian on Thursday the 2nd of July, and I wanted to do just a little video on the result of different types of graft on my avocados. So what I'm going to show first is this is a cleft graft. It was completed in spring of 2024. You can see it's healed but a little bit ugly. Over here another cleft graft, again spring 2024. Over here this is a cleft graft that was completed on spring of this year, and it's been very successful. This is Julienne or London Hass. This one over here, little focus, is the Joey, piece of Joey. Won't focus. Anyway, this is a piece of Joey, and the other one over here is Mexicola. So later on, after this graft here, about, I don't know, 6 weeks later, I went back to London, or was in London for a reason I should say, and I managed to pick up another few little bits of the London Hass. So I thought I would try a different grafting method. So this here, all this new growth, is from the London Hass, the Julienne, but this has all come from a scion, which I used a different grafting method, and that method was using a splice graft and a neoprene tube, and the resulting graft looks like that, which I think you'll all agree looks a whole lot better. That little split, by the way, in the front was when I was cutting off the neoprene tube. That'll heal up in the next day or so, but yeah, much better. You know, this cleft graft here, you know, the two pieces of material at the time that they were grafted were the same size, but because of the cleft graft and the nature of how it spreads, it creates this big sort of bulge in the branch, and I see that really with every cleft. This one hasn't got enough light on it to see it. With every cleft graft, you get this kind of bulge. Over time that does sort of soften, but the splice graft with the neoprene tube, I think we can agree, let's see if I can get, yeah, I think we can agree, is a whole lot better. I'm going to stop the video and just go out into the garden because I've got another graft using a neoprene tube method, which I'll show you. So this little tree here is very small. It's only, I don't know, 20 centimetres high, I suppose, something like that. It's a little seedling. And again, because I had some little tiny pieces of the Julienne, the London Hass, I decided to use a splice graft. Now I haven't removed the rubber tubing from here yet, but you can see that when I do, this little graft will be very neat, not that horrible scarring you get with the cleft graft. And I have to say that so far I would say the success rate of these splice grafts using these tubes and the cleft grafts are about the same. I've only found tubes for this type of graft up to 4.5 millimeters diameter so far, but I'm sure larger ones are available. I find this method much easier. I find it much easier to just cut two very clean diagonal cuts and then put the tube on and then force them together, rather than creating a wedge and a split. I always find the wedge and the split method just a little bit, I don't know, I don't like it, because when you push the wedge down into the split, sometimes the split then carries on a bit further down and you get that little air gap, and I just find it a little bit unsatisfactory. Whereas this method, the you know, one part is wedging against the other, but they're not forcing each other apart. They're actually forcing each other together, if that makes sense, when you push them into the tube rather than forcing each other apart. So the sort of tighter you push them down into the tube, the tighter they push together. And I just think that also it makes a better contact area. It's a contact area that's through the entire stem from one side right the way through to the other side. You can see that. There you go, look, it goes right the way up. Anyway, just a short video on my experience using two different graft methods, and wherever possible going forward, if I can find tubes of the right diameter, I will be using this splice method, and I shall be using these neoprene tubes to hold the two grafts together. Thanks very much for watching.